Hello, welcome to this tutorial for Blender. Today we're going to be going through the steps to make this low poly tree. Okay, so first of all we're going to add in a reference image to model from. So we're going to click on the default cube, just delete that by pressing X, OK. Press Shift and A to bring up the add menu. We're going to go down to image and then background. Then navigate to whereabouts your sketch is saved. I will make this as a downloadable link, but obviously feel free to use your own. And then load background image. Now we want to align this along the world's axis, so we just press N. We want to change the X rotation to 90 and then 0 degrees for the Y and Z. And then we're going to move this up along the Z axis so that the origin sits at the base of the tree, but then also move it back along the Y axis just to give us a bit of space to model from. So now we're going to start modelling the base of the tree. So press Shift and A, go to Mesh and then Circle, and then reduce the number of vertices from 32 down to 8, and then scale that down so it matches roughly the size of the tree. You can go in there, just zoom in, check a bit, scale it down, and then press Tab to go into edit mode, and then with all of the vertices selected, you want to press E, extend it up to just below where the first branch comes off, scale it down just a little bit, E again, and drag that up to where the branch then, the top of that branch. I'm just going to repeat that. Ooh, come out there, just press 1 to go back into the side view. Extend it up. Until we've got the main trunk. So now we're going to start modelling the branches. If you press Ctrl R, that brings up the edge loop, which is shown where it's going to cut by the green line across it. We're going to click that, and then we're going to press Escape, and then that just sets the edge loop to the center. Going to navigate round to whereabouts we want the branch to come out of. Just select that central vertex and then X and delete. Select the two opposite vertices, and we just want to scale that out there just to make the branch a bit more circular when it comes out. If we then press Alt and click around that loop, it selects all of the vertices there, and we're just going to extend it up just to where that branch will then start coming off. I'm going to scale that along the X-axis. That just makes life a little bit easier if that's a bit more circular. Extend it to where, actually, if I just put that down there, grab all of that edge loop by pressing Alt and then clicking. There we go, something like that. Alt click around that one again, press E, and then just extend that to the end. Just maybe rotate it up, scale it down. Same again with this branch. Ctrl R, edge loop down the middle. We're then going to select where we want this branch to come out of. X to delete that vertex. Scale these bits out just by pressing S and then dragging away. And then Alt and click, select that loop again. E to extrude. Just scale it just around the Z axis. Scale it down. And that's starting to look a bit more branch-like. Do the same with the others. Just a series of edge loops. Maybe have this one coming out the back here. Delete that vertex there. Scale it out. And then you can navigate to the other points of view by pressing either 1 or 3. So we want to extrude that out, scale it using Y, and then scale it along the Z as well. So I'll drag that around to there, just drag it up to the top, scale it in, so see how it looks. You can see that when you do that, it kind of flattens that off, so which is what we don't really want. So just to kind of show you how that's then happening. So if then what we want to do, we want to add in a few more intermediate loops just to kind of keep the geometry a bit more. And all that we're doing here is just alt clicking just to grab the loops, alt clicking just to grab the loops, and there you go. And obviously here where you can see where it's clearly going a bit wrong, if we press 7 as well, that just goes to the top view. And really you just want to rotate these so that they kind of intersect. Or rather they're perpendicular to where the branch is. And there we go. So we can just select these and drag them up. Again. Okay, I think that will probably do. Last branch, same again, edge loop, got this one coming out this way. Make it a bit more circular, back to your side view, extend out, scale it along the Z axis, X axis, scale it right down, just set that there. So, and then if we want to add just a little bit more variation to the branches, just where the curve, just want to set a few edge loops in and then just drag these down. Or up, depending on whereabouts you want them to go. Just one final one, just to kind of give it a bit of a curve. To make the leaves, what we're going to do is we're going to add a cube. So if you press Shift and A, go to Mesh, Cube, grab that along the Z axis just by pressing G, then Z. Then we're going to scale it down slightly, and then scale it along the X axis, just to kind of get a bit more of a rectangular shape. Go into edit mode and then press Ctrl R just to split that down the middle. Now if we go into the modifier tab, which is the spanner here, I'm going to add a modifier, and we want to go to subdivision surface, and we want to give that a few subdivisions there just by increasing the viewport subdivisions. Then, strangely, we then go into decimate, and we want to unsubdivide this a couple of times, about 3 times, and then that just kind of gives a more of like a triangular effect, which I kind of tend to prefer. And then another modifier, another decimate, but this time rather than unsubdivide, I want to go to collapse, and maybe if we say 0.7. And then that just kind of gives like an irregular sort of feel to the foliage. I might actually knock that down a bit more, maybe 0.6. There we go. That's kind of what I like. But then if we then try to edit, it's still just these sort of points here. So what I'm actually then going to do is just apply all of these modifiers just by hitting apply. Now if we press tab to go back into edit mode, then it just brings all of these up. So we rotate this on its side, put it into position, roughly, and then if we select one of these vertices, if you grab them normally, it just selects that, but then if you press O, that brings up proportional editing, which has just turned the almost like a speaker sort of symbol at the top blue. You press G now, and then that kind of pulls a fair few vertices around for you. And what we want to do is just kind of pull these just to kind of make the shape of what we're after. Just view it from a few different angles just to sort of see if you're getting it right. Pull these this way, just kind of give it a bit more depth. Okay. And then we're going to duplicate this by pressing Shift D, bring it around here, rotate it round, scale it, then rotate that round again just along the Z axis, and we're just going to do the same here just by pulling sort of some of these vertices round. There we go. Okay. Finally, one more time, duplicate it, scale it down for this last branch, rotate it round just by pressing R, and then moving it along to this branch here. If you want to have a look behind where you've to sort of view your sketch, if you press Z, that'll take you into wireframe mode. You can just grab that, and then again just move it around. You press Z again, and then that just takes you back to the solid block. Just going to rotate that around just to kind of give it a bit more variation. Okay, and then that's the modelling of the tree done. Okay, we're just going to finish off by adding a really simple material palette. First of all, just select the background image, delete that, and then select your leaves, go to New Material, go to Base Colour, and then select a green, just darken that a bit, rename it something like Leaves, and then you can select the other ones, and then from the drop down menu just select Leaves, and then you want to select the trunk, New Material there, rename it Trunk, go down to your base colour, and then choose dark brown, and then that's your materials applied. Press Shift and Z, and then that brings you into the rendered viewport, and there you have it. You've got your textured low poly tree. You can edit these when you're in the viewport just by clicking again on the base colour, just so you can sort of tweak those colours just with the lighting that you've got, just to however you'd want them, make them more saturated, less saturated, but there you have it. Thank you for watching my first tutorial. I hope you managed to follow along just fine. Let me know in the comments if you got stuck anywhere, or if there are any other low poly tutorials you'd like to see. Bye for now.